Dear Starseed from Gaia, I am Ophelia, emissary of the Galactic Federation of Light. The Arcturian Love Council has shown me your heart's isolation, and they want you to understand this sacred truth. Your loneliness isn't a flaw in your soul's design. It's the universe preparing you for connections that match your divine frequency. Most souls around you are still learning lessons you mastered lifetimes ago, and your energy field naturally repels what no longer serves your highest evolution. This isn't content. It's a transmission. Something in your soul is ready to remember why you came here feeling so different, so alone, so misunderstood. By the end of this transmission, you'll understand exactly how to recognize your soul tribe and align with connections that honor your starseed nature. But here's the first revelation. Your isolation has been protection, not punishment. Your soul has been clearing everyone who couldn't match your ascending consciousness, preparing space for the divine connections that are coming. You didn't find this video by chance. Your heart called this message in because you're ready to step out of spiritual loneliness and into your sacred community. The friendships you're meant to have will recognize your light instantly. No pretending, no dimming, no explaining required. Like this transmission to affirm to the universe, my heart is ready for soul-aligned connections. This isn't just a message. It's a moment of divine intervention. Your soul has been waiting for this guidance. Your heart knows why you're here. Most people who walk the spiritual path know this feeling intimately. The sense that you're somehow different, that you don't quite belong in the spaces where others seem to fit so effortlessly, like a lone cedar tree in a field of swaying willows. You often find yourself watching friends navigate surface-level connections with an ease that feels foreign, their conversations drifting like dandelion seeds on a gentle breeze, while your own soul yearns for the deep roots of dialogue about consciousness, profound purpose, the intricate tapestry of existence, and the whispers of the divine. You find yourself increasingly choosing the profound company of solitude, preferring the quiet sanctuary of your own expanding awareness to the clamor of shallow gatherings, where small talk can feel less like connection and more like an emotional suffocation, a slow drain on your very essence. It's as if your spiritual lungs crave pure, high-altitude air, but you're constantly offered the dense, stale atmosphere of the mundane. This isn't merely a preference. It's a deep-seated, energetic imperative, a soul-level calling for authenticity that begins to define your every interaction, or lack thereof. But here's what the spiritual community rarely tells you, often leaving you to wrestle with self-doubt and isolation. That profound loneliness you feel isn't a flaw in your sacred design. It's not evidence that you're broken, inherently antisocial, or destined for an eternity of isolation. On the contrary, it's actually irrefutable proof, a glowing beacon, that you're operating from a distinct frequency, a higher, more refined vibrational state that naturally, intuitively, and inevitably seeks authentic resonance rather than convenient, superficial connection. You are not miscalibrated. You are exquisitely tuned. Your soul didn't incarnate here, into this earthly realm, with the intention to simply blend in with the background noise of conditioned existence. It arrived with a cosmic blueprint, a divine mandate to remember its ancient origins, to awaken to its inherent power and truth, and eventually to unite with others who carry the same profound starlight remembrance in their hearts. The reason you feel so profoundly alone sometimes is because you are quite literally holding a sacred energetic space, waiting patiently for your true soul family to find their way back to the very same elevated frequency you have been so diligently, and perhaps unconsciously, holding. It's a spiritual homing beacon you carry, constantly emitting, constantly seeking. Think about it this way. You wouldn't expect a finely crafted violin string, precisely tuned to a perfect concert A, to harmonize effortlessly with instruments that are still haphazardly tuning their strings, perhaps even playing a completely different key. There would be an undeniable, jarring dissonance, a cacophony rather than a symphony, until every instrument meticulously reached the same pure frequency. Your dedicated spiritual awakening has naturally and gracefully tuned you to a higher vibration of consciousness, a more refined spiritual wavelength. This authentic, resonant frequency is precisely what will eventually, inevitably, magnetize your true spiritual community toward you, drawing them in like moths to a sacred flame, creating a divine orchestra of aligned souls. The first key to truly understanding and embracing your sacred solitude is recognizing with profound clarity that you are not actively avoiding connection in a negative or fearful sense. You are, in fact, protecting your precious life force energy, safeguarding it for the deep, resonant connections that truly matter and nourish your soul. Your soul has, through countless experiences and profound inner wisdom, developed an incredibly sophisticated discernment, an intuitive inner compass that guides where to invest its invaluable spiritual energy. When you make the conscious choice to stay home, to retreat into your inner sanctuary, instead of forcing yourself into social spaces that subtly but relentlessly drain your energy, leaving you feeling depleted and diminished, you are not being antisocial in the conventional sense. You are, in fact, being profoundly, brilliantly, energetically intelligent. You are engaging in a form of spiritual alchemy, transforming potential energetic drain into preserved energetic vibrancy. This powerful discernment isn't something you learned from a book or a lesson. It's something deeply remembered, an ancient wisdom stirring within your very cells. Somewhere deep in your cellular memory, etched into your very being, you understand with innate clarity that authentic connection requires not just physical proximity or shared mundane interests, but a profound energetic compatibility, a spiritual alignment that resonates at the core. You have, through your evolving consciousness, stop tolerating relationships that demand you dim your radiant light, soften your truth, or hide the shimmering facets of your spiritual journey, even if that means navigating through periods of seeming isolation, a wilderness experience for the soul before it finds its promised land. This isn't self-centeredness, it's self-preservation of the highest order, an act of sovereign spiritual self-care. The second key reveals precisely why your standards for connection have become so exquisitely refined, so discerning. You are no longer satisfied with relationships built upon the shaky foundations of shared trauma, the tangled cords of codependency, or merely surface-level interests that skim the shallow waters of existence. Your awakening consciousness craves something far more profound: soul-level recognition. The kind of sacred connection where you can openly and authentically speak about your most profound spiritual experiences, your deepest insights, and your most vulnerable truths, without the need for lengthy explanations, justifications, or fear of judgment. It's where your innate sensitivity is not just tolerated, but genuinely celebrated as a divine gift, rather than criticized as a weakness, and where your intuitive insights are welcomed as profound wisdom, rather than dismissed as fanciful imagination. You seek a communion of spirits, a fellowship of hearts. This profound and often challenging shift in your relationship requirements isn't making you difficult or unrealistic in a negative sense. Instead, it is actively preparing you, sculpting your heart and mind, for the very depth of connection your soul actually came here to experience. You are not destined for the ephemeral nature of casual acquaintanceships that never venture beyond the trivialities of weather, weekend plans, or sports scores. You are intricately designed for relationships that serve as spiritual mirrors, relationships that help you remember, with crystal clarity, who you truly are beyond the transient confines of this human experience. Relationships that ignite your divine potential and affirm your sacred path. You are being refined for soul partnerships, not mere social engagements. The third key illuminates with piercing clarity why the element of timing has become so incredibly important, so non-negotiable, in your spiritual journey. You have learned, often through experience, that forced connections, even with individuals who may be genuinely good-hearted but are simply not aligned, can create a palpable energetic discord, a low vibrational static that takes days, if not weeks, to painstakingly clear from your sensitive energetic field. Your nervous system has, through its awakening, become an exquisitely sensitive instrument, an antenna tuned to the subtle frequencies of the universe. Your intuition has grown more pronounced, more insistent, a wise inner voice that cannot be ignored, and your fundamental need for energetic alignment has become a foundational, non-negotiable truth. This isn't mere hypersensitivity, a fragile disposition that needs shielding from the world. No, this is expanded awareness, a heightened state of perception. You are now operating with a broader, more intricate spectrum of perception, naturally attuning to the nuanced energies, the unspoken emotions, and the hidden intentions that others might miss entirely or dismiss as imagination. When someone articulates one thing with their words, but their energetic signature communicates something entirely different, a hidden agenda, a veiled resentment, or a simple lack of authenticity, you feel that incongruence immediately, like a false note in a melody. When a space, be it a physical room or a social gathering, holds a low vibrational energy, your entire being, your very body, registers it profoundly, sending undeniable signals of discomfort before your conscious mind can even begin to analyze why you instinctively want to leave. It's your energetic truth compass guiding you. The fourth key opens your understanding to the sacred, profound purpose of this seemingly quiet waiting period, this interim of introspection. Every single moment you spend in authentic solitude, genuinely connected to your inner self, rather than in an inauthentic connection that compromises your truth, is actually consecrated preparation time. You are not, by any measure, wasting your precious life by choosing quality over quantity in your relationships, by patiently waiting for resonance. Instead, you are wisely using this invaluable time to integrate the deep spiritual downloads you are receiving, the celestial insights that are recalibrating your entire being. You are diligently working to heal generational patterns, ancestral wounds, and karmic imprints that have tethered your lineage for eons, and you are embodying, with increasing clarity and strength, the precise frequency that will eventually, unmistakably, call in your true spiritual family. During these periods of profound, often challenging, seeming isolation, a momentous inner work is happening within the depths of your being. You are systematically releasing old programming, outdated societal conditioning that once dictated you must accept whatever connection is available, even if it meant sacrificing your peace or truth. You are diligently healing the tender parts of you that once believed love required you to shrink your magnificent light, to perform a role, or to abandon your deepest truth for the sake of acceptance. You are, through this crucible of transformation, becoming the person who not only can recognize, but is also ready and able to receive the high vibrational, soul-nourishing connections that your soul is, in its deepest essence, actually seeking. You are constructing the inner temple to house these sacred relationships. The fifth key reveals the immutable magnetic principle that governs all spiritual relationships, a universal law as steadfast as gravity. Like attracts like on every conceivable level, including the intricate layers of consciousness, the subtle frequencies of vibration, and the stages of spiritual development. The more authentically you inhabit your own unique spiritual truth, the more powerfully and clearly you broadcast your distinct energetic signal into the cosmic ether, a vibrational lighthouse. This powerful broadcast will, without fail, attract others who are operating from similar, aligned frequencies, drawing them toward your light with an undeniable pull. Your soul family isn't missing, nor are they lost to you in the vastness of existence. They are simply moving through their own divinely appointed timing of awakening and remembrance, navigating their individual cosmic curriculum. Some are still in the early, often tumultuous stages of questioning everything they once believed to be solid truth, their old worlds gently, or not so gently, crumbling around them. Others are in the messy, vital middle of spiritual purification, actively releasing old identities, shedding limiting beliefs, and letting go of relationships that no longer serve their highest good or their evolving path. Still others, much like yourself, are in the profound integration phase, learning how to gracefully live from their expanded awareness, anchoring their light, while navigating a physical world that often feels energetically dense, challenging, and unready for their awakened presence. The sixth key unlocks the profound recognition that your current solitude, far from being a burden or a punishment, is actually a magnificent gift of unparalleled preparation. While others may be caught in the whirlwind of surface-level social obligations, the endless distractions of the external world, you possess the precious space and the crystalline clarity to dive fearlessly deep into the vast ocean of your own consciousness. You can explore transformative meditation practices, delve into ancient spiritual texts, commune deeply with the wisdom of nature, and diligently develop your innate intuitive abilities, all without having to explain, justify, or defend your profound interests to anyone who simply doesn't yet understand, or is not ready to understand. This consecrated time alone is allowing you to discover, with breathtaking authenticity, who you truly are when you are not performing for others, when you are not constantly adapting to their varying energies, or when you are not editing the radiant truth of your spiritual being to make others feel more comfortable. You are learning to deeply enjoy your own company, to find an intrinsic joy and wholeness within yourself, so thoroughly that when your soul family does eventually appear, when those resonant connections finally manifest, you will enter those sacred relationships not from a place of aching neediness or desperate loneliness, but from a place of profound wholeness, abundant overflow, and authentic, unencumbered interest. You will be a cup running over, ready to share its bounty. The seventh key completes this profound understanding, revealing that your apparent isolation is actually a highly conscious and deliberate selection, a sacred act of discernment. You have, through your spiritual evolution, moved far beyond the unconscious relationship patterns that once governed your connections with others, those ingrained habits born of fear or conditioning. You no longer automatically say yes to every social invitation, even when your inner guidance screams no. You no longer tolerate the draining presence of energy vampires for the mere sake of having someone to talk to, understanding the cost to your vital spirit. And crucially, you no longer pretend to be less aware, less intuitive, or less spiritually oriented than you truly are, for such an act would be a betrayal of your authentic self. This conscious selectivity, this refined filtering, is actively preparing you for relationships built upon a foundation of genuine spiritual affinity, a deep resonance of the soul, rather than mere convenience, historical habit, or societal expectation. When you do encounter those rare, kindred spirits who truly share your unique frequency, the recognition will not only be immediate, but utterly unmistakable, like two ancient stars colliding in a perfect, harmonious embrace. You will experience that profound, almost overwhelming joy of being completely understood without having to utter a single explanatory word, of being seen and celebrated for the very unique qualities, the very essence, that once made you feel like an outsider, a misfit in a world that didn't quite grasp your light. It will be a homecoming for your soul. Here's the ultimate liberating truth that your periods of loneliness have been so diligently, so lovingly trying to impart to you. You are not an alien dropped into the wrong world, a misplaced piece in a cosmic puzzle. You are, in fact, a pioneer consciousness, a brave wayshower, here to anchor higher frequencies of unconditional love, expansive awareness, and authentic, heart-centered connection into the very fabric of this planet. Your profound sensitivity isn't a burden to be endured or a flaw to be corrected. It is a magnificent, potent gift, an exquisitely fine-tuned instrument that allows you to recognize, cultivate, and nurture precisely the kind of heart-centered relationships this planet so desperately needs to evolve. The loneliness you've experienced hasn't been a punishment for daring to be different, for choosing a path less traveled. It has been a sacred, deliberate preparation, a divine apprenticeship for something your logical mind, bound by earthly limitations, couldn't have possibly imagined. You haven't been rejected by the benevolent universe. On the contrary, you have been profoundly protected, shielded from connections that would have diluted your spiritual progress, dampened your inner fire, or subtly convinced you to settle for far less than your magnificent soul truly came here to experience and embody. Your soul family is undeniably real. They exist. They are out there, traversing their own unique landscapes of awakening. Some of them have been feeling the exact same sacred loneliness you've experienced, the same unwavering knowing that they are meant for connections far deeper, far more resonant than what the mainstream world typically offers. Some of them have also, through their own deep discernment, consciously chosen solitude over superficial socializing, prioritizing profound quality over mere quantity in their relationships, and embracing authentic expression over the stifling demands of social acceptance. When the divine timing aligns, and rest assured it absolutely will, with the precision of a cosmic clock, these profound connections will feel like an indescribable coming home after an impossibly long, often arduous journey through foreign, unfamiliar territory. You'll recognize each other not just mentally, through shared interests or beliefs, but cellularly, energetically, soul to soul, in ways that transcend logical explanation and resonate deep within your core. The often challenging wait will, in that moment, make perfect, divine sense. The solitude you endured, the quiet moments of introspection, will reveal itself not as a punishment, but as a sacred, indispensable preparation, a necessary refining fire that forged your very being for these profound encounters. Tonight, instead of allowing yourself to sink into the familiar ache of loneliness, try shifting your perspective, your internal state, and instead feel a quiet, profound sense of expectancy, a gentle anticipation for the beauty that is unfolding. Instead of wondering what might be wrong with you, pause for a moment and consider celebrating what is undeniably right with your refined discernment, your unwavering commitment to truth and authenticity. You haven't failed at connection in any way. Rather, you have evolved beyond connections that simply do not honor, sustain, or elevate who you are powerfully becoming. Your spiritual family is out there, moving through their own intricate awakening processes, navigating their own periods of sacred solitude, embarking on their own profound journey of remembering who they truly are, shedding the layers of illusion to reveal their radiant core. Trust the divine timing, for it is always perfect. Trust the unfolding process, for it is guided by a wisdom far greater than our own. And most importantly, trust that the very same benevolent consciousness that guided you to awaken, that stirred the embers of your spiritual heart, is meticulously orchestrating the perfect, synchronous moments for authentic, undeniable soul recognition to occur. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of what's forming here. Drop one intention in the comments, something real from your heart journey. Then respond to someone else's with encouragement or love. This isn't content, it's collective healing. Love multiplies when hearts connect. If something in this message resonated, don't keep it to yourself. Someone in your life is waiting for this exact activation. Share it. And if you felt a soul nudge, subscribe. Stay in the flow of divine love guidance. You're not just watching. You're healing. This is your sacred space. And we're just getting started. If this transmission spoke to you, don't just walk away from it. Respond to it. Help carry this message further. Every act of support helps this transmission find the next starseed who needs it.